So let's say you have a guy who has a goal. I want to build a house. Then as the person begins his dream of building a house over the beautiful ocean or whatever it is, very often he'll get to a place and he's depressed. And we see this very often. People have goals, men have goals, and they get depressed in the journey towards their goals. Very often they don't achieve their goals, which heightens the depression. And I'm not going to repeat the things about the value, because if you take what I said before, applied here, it'll work. But generally, again, it's a thing of the mind. Men, women also, but we're speaking of men, have an immaturity in the understanding of how things work in the process of manifestation and the time requirement in order to achieve anything. The more humans, the men, are immature, which is, we have reached the height of immaturity, and it's going to get worse, which is impossible. The more they want things instantaneously, which means I may have a desire. Let's say I have a desire to have big muscles. I go to the gym. I lift 5 pounds. 5 pounds is heavy. It suddenly dawns on me how far I am from my goal. I become depressed. Well, it's a state of mind. I had an hyperinflated state of mind that I'm going to be a superhero, I'm going to be Superman, and my state of mind is so out of balance and so disconnected from reality that I'm going to achieve it in a week. I'm not even able to sustain the state of mind and the effort for a minute that the 5 pounds deflates me and takes me to the other extreme. That's impossible, I can't do it. And then of course the mind is going to compensate by inventing a story of why you don't want to do it, why you don't really want to do it. And of course now you're going to become an anti-people go to the gym, because those who go to the gym are losers. And you're going to have a religion of teaching people and making blogs about why people who go to the gym are idiots, to justify your failure. Well, what's the issue here? It's again, state of mind. Is immaturity in the process of things. That's because we receive no education and we're disconnected from reality. With a little bit of maturity and if guidance, if you learn from a kid, it's like, well, if you want something, you got to work for it. And it's going to take years. Now the question is, can I achieve something in balance? Not imbalance, in balance. Can I achieve something within balance, a state of balance, which means one step at a time, ebbs and flows, inhale, exhale. Or in order to achieve something, do I have to immediately go into a hypermanic phase, hype myself up endlessly, which means I'm going to crash? Is that how life operates? These are questions to be asked. But the modern man is weak. And his mind state is so immature, so disconnected, it's not even rooted in basic reality. Forget supreme reality, just basic reality. You want something. If you want a carrot, you're going to have to plant carrot seeds sometime in the spring. Then you're going to have to take care of the land, take care of the crop for at least 4 or 5 months. And sometime in October, if everything goes right, you're going to have carrots and you still don't have them. You're going to have to pick them. Then you're going to have to wash them. Then you're going to have to take off the edges depending if you want to eat them. Then you're going to have to grate them and cut them up to have a soup. There's a process. This is just a carrot. Let's not talk about, I want to have a jiu-jitsu, I want to be a master martial artist, or I want to be a doctor, or to be an engineer, or I want to be rich, or I want to be successful. So in anything in life, it requires a certain amount of time and effort, consistent effort, and the process of learning how to get to where you want to go. This is a basic saying. If you want to win, you have to learn how to win. So I'm using the word win for the sake of conversation. Everybody will understand. If I want to succeed, whatever it is that I want, I have to learn how to succeed. I have to learn how to do it the proper way to achieve the results I'm aspiring to. That takes time. You don't learn this in 5 minutes. But your average person doesn't have the ability to exert a form of effort and sustain it for a long period of time. Now, some people do, and very often they're very maniacal. They're psychotic. They go into extremes. They're not even able to face, let's say I love something, I can't just face it and be humbled by it. I'm going to attack it with a maniacal mindset. And I'm not going to let it drop because I have to destroy, the key word, conquer. I have to conquer this. There's no space for love. There's no space for intimacy. There's no space for a connection. There's no space for a dialogue between what it is that you're doing and yourself. No, I got to conquer it, which means that sooner or later they'll collapse. Maybe they'll be able to sustain it long enough, or maybe they'll collapse along the way. Some people collapse. It's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of people who succeed. You collapse and then you get right back up. You got to go at it again. And sometimes it'll take you even further in a maniacal state, because there's no way now that you can lose when you're so close, right? These are extremes. They exhaust your system, and they show that something's missing. There's no connection. Where's the connection? Is that how life is? So anyways, if we come back to any person who wants to achieve anything, well, it's going to take time. That means you need to have enough maturity to understand if you want something, it takes time, and you have to work consistently, and you have to learn how to cultivate the energy necessary, and then learn how to invest and spend your energy effectively to get, you have to manage yourself to get to where you want to go over time. So what happens with a person who generally starts something? They're so hyped in their mind, they're so in love with the fantasy. Let's say I'm going to become a Muay Thai fighter, I'm going to become an MMA fighter. So hyped up, like they're in love with the idea. They like jubilate at it. They want to come all over. So I'm going to go and let's say they're lucky enough, because most people never get past that bubble. Then they're going to go to the gym. Now they're going to go 12 times a week. What's going to happen in a couple of days? They're going to crash. It's unsustainable, because the demands are very, very high. It's not everybody who's, let's not even break it down. So they're going to quit. Well, what's the issue? Maybe they genuinely have a passion for the activity. I'm not removing that. The issue is that they're not connected to the reality. They live in a fantasy of it. They're in love with the fantasy, and they believe that in order to conquer this, they need to hype themselves up and go to such an intense yang, out of balance yang, to conquer it, but they're not able to sustain the yang. And then they'll see another cat who's able to do that for whatever reason, thinking that this is how we achieve anything in life, by being out of balance in a supremely yang, that means maniacal phase. And that's how we achieve it. They're going to compare themselves to that person, and they think that this is how that person is doing it, and they will say, I'm shit. They're going to swing to the other side. I'm depressed now. I suck. And if they really cared about it, they're going to feel shit. They're going to be very sad because they're not succeeding, and they're going to hate the fact that this person is able to do it, and they're going to start to kind of like churn the mental, maniacal state with new formulation, so that they can hopefully swing back to the other extreme, which will last for a couple of days, maybe it'll last for a couple of weeks. That's not sustainable. So it tells us a lot. We speak about it shows us a lot how the mind works. But what I'm trying to highlight in this flow is that people are not connected to reality. And then when they want to achieve something, they generally want to conquer it, because they're intimidated by it. So that takes their mind and pushes their minds to some kind of extreme, and they need to attack it and attack it and attack it and attack it and attack it. And that's not sustainable. Sooner or later, it'll take you to the other side. You're going to collapse. Now, when you decide that you want to engage in anything, you're going to have phases. Phases where you're like super sharp and super focused and super engaged and super motivated. And you're with it and you're doing it and you're enjoying it. And there are phases where you reach a plateau. It's kind of like boring. And it becomes redundant and repetitive, and you lose your interest, you lose sight. And that's also part of the process. And that's a moment where you've accomplished something. You were here, you got to here, and it's like a plateau. And you lose sight of where you're going. You have to reevaluate yourself. A lot of people will not. And the reevaluation means, do I want to give more of myself to this? Because to achieve a goal, whatever it is, and especially the bigger the goal is, it's going to require more of you. But this is also a natural process that very few people have a sense of. Because it's very, well, in the modern world, especially the younger generation, what have they had the chance to really accomplish? They haven't even learned to accomplish basic things. So this is the process of success or the process of manifestation, and you can see that it's very easy for the mind to go on a trip. So now I'm very inspired and I want to be always inspired. Yeah, everybody wants to always be inspired, but it's natural to get to a place where you feel less inspired, and that's because you've reached a certain kind of success level. It's 1 degree, one degree, and now you have the opportunity to, integrate, which is part of the process of achieving a goal. Integrate, that means let it settle down, like become a part of you. It's no longer an app you turn on, it just settles down, like And then you also need rest, because I just climbed all of this, I need some rest. I don't have the space to receive more. I've just climbed this. I need to acclimatize myself to this new atmosphere. I need time. So I'm not inspired as I was coming up. And a lot of people don't understand that phase and think I'm depressed or I've lost interest. I'm like, no, you need some time. Which doesn't mean you necessarily quit. You can continue, but you're not as focused because you need some time. You need time to integrate. You need time to digest. Like I said, you need time to reevaluate what I've accomplished. And at some point when things settle and you don't go into a depressive state or try to hype yourself up when you're here, you can't hype yourself up to push to the next level because it's not even apparent to you. You can't even see it. And a lot of people, they panic when they arrive at such a place because they're uncomfortable with the silence. They're uncomfortable with the unknown. There's an unknown. Oh, no, we got to push harder. I'm like, there's no route, there's no pathway presented to you. No, there's no avenue, there's no door. And they can't stand that, and then they think their mind starts to attack them. No, it's not their mind. Their state of mind, which is based on an idea of what success is, starts, you're lazy, you suck, you should do more, push harder, that's how a man does, that's what Kobe Bryant did, you suck. You don't know what the fuck Kobe Bryant did because you were not around. Okay? You know nothing about Kobe Bryant. And only if you achieve a certain level of success, then you'll understand what he may have gone through. But for the beginners, you have no idea. It's a fantasy in your mind of what success is and what successful people do. But it's normal, so you get to that place. And when you settle there, you integrate, then slowly, a new door opens. And the new door is going to say, if you want the next level, you need to give more of yourself, which means you need to let this go, and you need to let this go because these are excess baggage. There's no space for this. And then a lot of people are going to panic and they're not ready to let those things go. That means that's where they're going to stop. And once that door opens and you cross that door because you feel confident and ready to let that go, a new wave of inspiration comes because everything is new again. And you have everything to learn again. As far as you're concerned, you're a beginner again because this is a new grade. You have some kind of foundation, but everything is new again. And you get into that space where everything is new. It's awesome. Everything is creative, everything is inspiring, everything is just like fresh. Even if you're doing the same thing again, it's like not the same because in your mind something has opened. And now that's going to start having its challenges. You don't know how long that lasts. You're learning a bunch of things. Sometimes it's hard. It's going to challenge you. I don't know how to do this. It's going to require you to manage your energy differently. It's going to require you to learn new skills. It's going to tell you that whatever you had before, it's not good enough now. And you now, because you may not have the right state of mind, to get depressed because you suck. I hear it all the time. I suck. I'm like, you don't suck. You're a beginner. Well, it's been 10 years. Well, you're a beginner at this level. Let's say I'm 7th grade and I get to 8th grade. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a beginner from the 8th grade. If I go to 7th grade, I'm a graduate, but from the 8th grade, I'm a beginner. So every level is you're a beginner again. Whatever you accomplished before is what got you here, but it doesn't count anymore. But you see a person with an immature state of mind gets depressed. It's not depressed, they get depressed, I suck. It's not the same as the hype disappears. I get humbled, and I realize, wow, I'm going to have to learn a lot of new things. And then you feel, it comes with a feeling that it's rainy. I feel sad. I feel humbled. I feel a little humiliated in the good sense of the word, humbled, humiliated. And then if you don't repeat, I suck, he's better than me, then the wave now starts to take you. It's like, okay, I'm ready to tackle this. I want to learn. I want to do this. And now you don't care anymore that you quote unquote suck. You're like, I'm a beginner. I'm at level 1 or level 6 or level 8. I want to learn. I want to do this. I'm ready to do this and this and this and no longer do this and no longer do this because I'm feeling it. I want to do that. Well, this is the method to achieve anything in life. And the management of the mind because the mind goes through cycles. Like I said, it's normal that there's an inhale and there's normal that there's an exhale. And both phases are necessary. Depression, as we commonly understand in society, is because you've been in an extreme. And you can't really achieve the heights of success in extremes. Ironically, I'll say that. Well, I think I'll take that back. So, your average guy today doesn't know much about much. It's a sad thing. It's a sad affair. I'm sorry to have to say it like this. I think you all understand what I mean. And they live in the world of quick, and everybody wants to sell it. You're going to be a millionaire in only 3 months. You're going to create a whole online business. You've never done anything in only 3 months, and it's only $49 a month. Now, well, with all due respect, it may happen to one person. No, you have a lot to learn. No. Only a loser says that it takes more than 3 or 6 months to buy that, because I'm going to teach you how to do it, and you can do that now. And only losers take more than 6 months to achieve that. Well, listen, there's some people in life who run really fast. They're the exception. Then there's the average, and then there's the people who are much slower. The person who's much slower and never quits will achieve it. The average is the average, and then there's the anomaly who succeeds. So if you now compare yourself to the anomaly, I'm not saying that there doesn't exist somebody who's able to do it. I'm like, yeah, but one. The reality is that for your average person, and the average are like these people who are, the average grade is 78 and you have 85, 86. You're doing good for yourself, but you're not 99. And then there's the average 78, you guys got 75, 76, 74. It's not bad, but your average person within the range of the upper range and the lower range, you have a lot to learn. Forget the one person who's like the anomaly. No, I don't want that. I want it now. I want to believe in the dream. Well, what does that say? It means you have a diseased mindset. You don't understand how reality functions. You live in a fantasy and you want to buy a dream, and the person is going to sell you the dream and you're going to buy it. And you're going to be very disappointed. You're going to be disappointed very quickly, and you're going to quit because you didn't have the right mindset in the first place. So we speaking today is about depression. Well, clearly all I'm saying is depression is a question of mindset. So to what am I supposed to tune my mind to be healthy or to achieve health, which is what we spoke at the start, which I said there's a basic drone, the mindset that tunes me to the current and the rhythm and the ebbs and flows of nature, this is like, whoa, for everybody. Now we went into a little more micro. I said, well, whatever you want to achieve, you have to have the right mindset. And when your mindset isn't properly balanced or isn't rooted in a form of reality, even a relative form of reality, you're bound to go through an extreme and be depressed. Because you're an idiot. That's what idiocity means. You don't know how to think. You live in a fantasy. You mean to tell me you're going to build a multi-million-dollar business in 6 months? Well, of course you're going to get depressed because you're not going to succeed. No, I am. Just the fact that I'm saying that even now is going to make shockwaves. Impossible. This person told me that I can, and he did, and I will. I just need to get the money to buy the course, and I too am going to be a millionaire in 6 months. In fact, there's never been as many millionaires as now. And I'm also that person. Great, so who am I? You're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. You're absolutely right. I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a loser because I didn't become a multi-million-dollar online entrepreneur in less than 6 months. This is how you think. So you stop for 2 seconds. Give me this for the sake of conversation. To whose benefit is that mindset? I'm going to tell you to whose benefit it is. To the marketer who's selling you a course, who's got a clock telling you have X number of seconds to buy the course, because he wants you to be a millionaire in less than 6 months, because you too can do it because he did it. And here are the testimonials of the 274 people who became multimillionaires in less than 6 months with this course for $49 a month. Scratch that. It's only $2,995. But if you buy it now, you get 79% rebates with 17 bonuses. And if you don't succeed at doing that, it's because you're a moron. Listen, this is sensitive because everything is sensitive. We live in the era of sensitivity because the moment you say anything honest, people are like offended because you're like shattering their fantasies or their dream. Or somehow I may be insulting a person who's selling a course like this, and I don't want to insult. The person selling the course can say whatever the fuck they want. And they're allowed to say whatever they want, and in very special cases, maybe that can happen. So because it can, maybe, I'm like, with all due respect, come on, please come down to earth. And there's a process to manifest whatever the hell you want to manifest. And nature's there to teach you, and you can do it in a form of harmony, but it takes time. Everything takes time. And if you don't have the maturity to understand that in this plane, the earth plane, this plane of consciousness, everything requires time to unfold and to grow, and you refuse it to be like this because your mind has been conditioned by media that it should be now, and if it's not now, it's because you suck, and you want the glory and the name and the booty that comes with your amazing success, and you need it now. Well, I don't know. Here's what's going to happen. You're not going to get it. And you're going to be very upset about it. And you're going to hate yourself because in your brain, you suck because everybody's able to do it and they can do it fast and they do it now. And only you are a loser because you couldn't do it in 5 months. With all due respect, I'm going to insist on this. It takes years to learn something. Whatever it is, and the bigger the project, the more time it takes to be good at it. Right? To ride a bike doesn't take you forever. You just need to know how to balance yourself and coordinate your movement and not be scared that you're going to fall, because that's when you fall. It's not so complicated. So the bigger the project, the more ambitious it is, or the more it requires a form of creative channeling, well, the more you have to learn how to be the vessel for that genius. Or you can do that in 5 minutes, right? I'm going to be enlightened like Yogananda after a 3-day retreat because I took Iboga and I fasted for 2 days. And it's only $2,995, and I got to pay my own flight to Costa Rica. Right. And if somebody like me tells you that this is nonsense, you can be very upset. What the fuck do I know? I'm not cool. I don't have 2 million followers. Obviously, I'm a loser. Right? And as far as you know, I don't have a Lambo because I'm not showing it off. I don't have a Lambo, so that's all. So I'm a fucking loser. I don't have a Lambo. Fucking A, dude. Thanks for telling me I'm a loser. I needed to be brought back to reality. I am a loser. Thank you. I feel relieved. Depressurization. Thank you. Next.